a cup. I was not expecting to write about coffee, and there is nothing deep or spiritual about this post. Initially, I thought it was caffeine that I love, but I have realized and accepted the fact that it's coffee. As a child, I loved drinking coffee with my grandparents, but that's because my grandfather let me put a lot of cream and sugar in it. When I got older, I hated coffee. I thought it was disgusting. When I needed caffeine, Mountain Dew was my one true love. Occasionally, in a dire situation, I would intervene with No-Dose or Vivarin. In my 20s, I had a job where I sometimes worked from 6 p.m. until 2:30 a.m., or later if I could get in some overtime. This job was in a call center, so I needed to be alert as I was talking to customers. One night, I was extremely tired. I took a No-Dose but was so out of it that a short time later I had a Mountain Dew, completely forgetting that I had taken the No-Dose. I was sitting at my desk a little while later. As I was typing, I noticed that my hands were shaking and my palms were sweaty. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I took a few deep breaths and tried to relax. I held my hands out and shook them as if I could shake off the shaking, but that did not help. At this point, I feel my heart racing and anxiety starts to take over. Suddenly, I had this awakening, pun intended, and realized that I had taken a No-Dose and followed it with Mountain Dew. It was like that moment in The Sixth Sense when we find out that Malcolm was dead that entire time. Perhaps I should have prefaced that with a spoiler alert, but the movie is from 1999. I'm assuming everyone has seen it or knows the details by now. Sorry if I ruined it for you. After my awakening, I was scared. I did not have the option to Google what to do if you consume too much caffeine, and I couldn't leave work. I started drinking a lot of water and breathing deeply, convincing myself that I would be okay and that the effects would have to wear off eventually. The effects did wear off, and I decided to never take No-Dose or any other caffeine pill again. I couldn't give up on Mountain Dew, though. He was my best friend and companion on road trips and got me through many late nights at work. As I got older, I wanted to cut back on drinking soda because I knew it was not good for me. I had to break up with my beloved guy, Mountain Dew. Okay, fine. I will admit that I still spend time with him occasionally, maybe once or twice a year. Sometimes if I take a road trip, I roll with him, just for old time's sake. I almost forgot. I also had a brief relationship with Monster energy drinks. One day I had another one of those heart-racing, anxiety-filled episodes, so it was not long before I broke up with Monster. Fast forward several years, I became an older and more mature adult. I worked in an office where it seemed that everyone was drinking coffee. I tried to do the same but found that just like I did when I was a child, I loaded it up with cream and sugar. It made the taste of coffee tolerable. The problem is that I didn't feel good about drinking so many calories, considering my perpetual weight loss struggle. Yet I continued to drink cream and sugar with a few drops of coffee. At some point, I decided to ride on the low-carb bandwagon for a period. I had to give up on sugar, so I tried Splenda. That made me feel weird and itchy, so I gave it up. I knew what I had to do. If I wanted the caffeine, the soda, energy drinks, and pills were not an option. I had no choice but to drink black coffee. I was disgusted by the thought of that and the taste of coffee in general, so I went without it for a while. Office life was proving to be tough, and I knew I needed caffeine to make it through. I decided to try coffee again. This time I would make my own. I started with a French press. I would grind my own beans and brew coffee. Sometimes the coffee was still a bit bitter due to my lack of coffee-making expertise, but I would drink it because I had to face the fact. I don't love the taste of coffee, but I love how it makes me feel. I don't understand and haven't researched it, but the caffeine from coffee makes me feel better than caffeine from any other source. Eventually, I bought a Mr. Coffee automatic coffee brewer and have learned to make the coffee perfectly so that it's not bitter. Now I can easily drink black coffee unless I'm traveling or cannot make the coffee myself. I have come a long way, but still was in denial about how much I am in love with coffee. To prove to myself that I did not really need it, I would have coffee during the week and Earl Grey tea on weekends. I enjoy the tea, but it just does not make me feel the way that coffee does. Finally, this past week, I decided to give in and accept the fact that I am going to drink coffee every day, and I am perfectly okay with that. I tried, but I cannot resist. There is no way I can end this post without putting just a little bit of God into it. With that being said, thank God for coffee. One last thing. Every morning when I wake up, there's usually a song playing in my mind. After writing this post, I woke up with the jingle that Lena Horne sang in an old Sanka coffee commercial. Of course, I found it on YouTube. Look it up. You're welcome. Now you can go around singing it all day like I've been doing.